my book and wax friends. I am Amber. If you're new, welcome. Welcome back if you're returning. I do post about all things books and home fragrance, and today's video is my most anticipated books that are releasing in the month of September. So these are some that really have piqued my interest. Some are sequels, some are not even known authors to me, brand new. And so I just wanted to go over a few of them. Of course, this is not the exhaustive list of everything releasing in September, but these are some that I definitely have on my radar. So let's get to it. The first one I have to share is a cozy fantasy. It's called The Pumpkin Bride, and this is actually by Fiona Buttercup. How cute is that name? I don't know if that's her real name or not, but that is so cute. Okay, so this says, a cursed knight, Sir Bram Duncan, was once a knight of legend in Harvest Hollow, until the whim of a jealous prince and the trickery of an autumn sprite turned him into a hulking orc, Jash Bone Cracker, and tethered him to Grimroot Farm. For 3 long, lonely years, he's hidden his monstrous form and the truth of what happened the night he lost everything. Let's see, including his true love, Princess Marigold. A runaway princess, fleeing an arranged marriage to the vain and intolerable Prince Crispin, Marigold finds a safe haven when she stumbles across Jax's charmed pumpkin farm deep in the forest. Sensing glimmers of gentleness and a surprising talent for baking beneath the grumpy orc's imposing exterior, she begins to feel a familiar longing she believed dead when her Bram disappeared. So it says that Shrek meets the Princess Bride in this cozy, low-stakes romantic fantasy. That sounds so cute. Perfect for autumn. Okay, the next one is called, and that one coming out September 1st. This one as well is coming out September 1st. And it's called Hawk and Sparrow by Ayana Gray. And this is said to be a mystery, fantasy, historical fiction, romance. So lots of different genres right there. It says, orphaned as a child and rescued by the editor of Balsaton Globe, Vesper is now an ambitious reporter determined to keep her newspaper afloat. While covering a lavish society gala, Vesper happens upon a shocking scene, the murdered body of a man she had spoken with just minutes before. Several of the powerful magical elite may want the man dead, but the prime suspect is wealthy industrialist Maximilian Kite. Max soon makes Vesper a tempting offer: find the culprit and restore his reputation in exchange for a substantial fee. Despite her distaste of Max's world, Vesper agrees. The money would save the globe, and the story would be the scoop of a lifetime. There's only one catch. In order for her to infiltrate society, the two must pose as a courting couple. Their investigation takes them from the highest echelons of privilege to the seediest back streets of Basalton. As they unearth the city's secrets and scandals, Vesper finds herself in grave danger while falling for one of the most infuriating, arrogant, handsome men she has ever met. So that sounds like a lot of fun for sure. So that is Hawk and Sparrow. Okay, the next one is the third book in a trilogy, so third and final book, called Cursebreaker, and this is by R.M. Gray. Final book. I just read the second book. Why am I forgetting what the name of it is? But Nightweaver is the first book, and then the second book is, what is it called? It's gonna drive me nuts. I can't believe I've forgotten the name already. Star Chaser, there you go. I just read Star Chaser in July and definitely want to continue the series. So it's about a pirate family, but there's definitely a lot more than that, with creatures and political intrigue and trying to save humanity, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of fun. So I am definitely looking forward to the final book in the series. The next book I have, I think, is historical fiction. And this one, yes, World War II historical fiction. This also comes out September 1st. We're still on September 1st. And it's called Library of Forbidden Books by Mario Escobar. Excuse me. And it says, for Helene Nathan, one of the first female librarians at a prestigious German library, the books she cherishes are no longer just sources of knowledge, they are targets. As the government begins its systematic purge of literature, compiling lists of forbidden works and orchestrating public book burnings, Helene realizes she cannot stand by as her world turns to ash. Determined to resist the encroaching tyranny, Helene and her colleagues embark on a perilous mission of secretly collecting and hiding the very books slated for destruction. It's a dangerous act of defiance in a city where every neighbor could be an informant and the Gestapo are a constant looming threat. Her quiet rebellion is especially complicated by the fact that Helene is half Jewish, and Rudolf Kummer, a ruthless Nazi official, seemingly has a personal vendetta against her. Oh, it sounds so good. I am very interested in that one. So, Library of Forbidden Books. Then we have one called Divine Oaths. Also comes out September 1st. And this is by Elizabeth Aguiamang. I know I'm probably butchering that last name, but you'll see it right there in the picture. And this is a dark academia, romantasy, gothic story. And it says Ninth House meets Legendborn in this thrilling dark academia debut. So this is a debut author. So it says, Westfield University was supposed to be Sienna Adu's dream school. But just when she was on the cusp of attending the elite academic institution hidden in Virginia's swampland, an unexpected tragedy changes everything. In one day, Sienna loses her family and gains an extraordinary power, the ability to see lifelines and witness other people's pasts and futures. That's interesting. With all she's lost, Sienna puts her college dreams on pause and spends her days navigating dead-end jobs and a not-so-secret crush on her co-worker. Oh my goodness gracious. But when Kasim St. James, the undeniably handsome heir of Westfield, approaches her with a strange request, the future Sienna had long deferred becomes a dangerous new reality. Worried that her powers are now tied to Kasim, she has no choice. Fate has called her to Westfield. So, sounds like it could be good. Definitely, like I said, dark academia, which I'm always kind of in the mood for during the fall. So, the next one is I recently shared a book that I received recently. Do I even have it on here anymore? I don't think I do. That was inspired by Phantom of the Opera, but this is going to be another one. It's called Our Strange Duets by Erin A. Craig, who is the author of House of Salt and Sorrows. And I did enjoy that book. She's written quite a few books, but she always has that gothic element in her stories that I do enjoy during the fall. So this is, gothic, historical fiction, thriller, fantasy romance, it says. And it comes out on September 1st. We're still on September 1st. a reimagining of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, spotlighting Christine as she rises to fame while torn between love, ambition, and the haunting secrets of the opera house. Let's see. The Phantom of the Opera tells the story of a mysterious masked figure who lurks beneath the Paris House Opera, exercising a reign of terror over all who inhabit it. He falls madly in love with a young soprano, Christine, and devotes himself to nurturing her extraordinary talents, employing all the devious methods at his command. So it says it centers on Christine's emotional journey and her agency within this sweeping atmospheric opera. So interesting. It sounds good. And the cover of this isn't even a special edition. It is a deluxe edition, but it's not like special edition through book boxes or anything. But look how beautiful this is. It's got sprayed edges and everything. It's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous, which of course appeals to me as someone that loves beautiful books. It makes me want to read it more for sure. Okay, the next one is a fantasy romance, I think. A contemporary paranormal romance, cozy fantasy, it says. And it is called Meet Cute Magic by Morgan Elizabeth. And we're moving on. We're out of September 1st. This is September 8th. And this one says, she's a witch who can't fall in love without getting her heart broken. He holds a grudge like no other. Bookstore owner Rosie Mayfield wants a love of her own, but it's not meant to be because of her family's curse. To break it, she conjures a ghost who will break her curse, but for a cost. She has to brew a potion to help him transition to the other side. The problem? There's only one person who hates Rosie in all of Heartwood Hollow. She needs his help to complete the required task. Jack Haggerty, the ghost's grandson, has lamented about Rosie for years. She's a disaster and she's forbidden from visiting his gaming shop. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so he's stunned when his beloved grandfather makes an appearance. While he loves his family and will do anything to help his grandpa, he fights against the chemistry brewing between him and Rosie until he can't anymore. So it sounds cute, sounds fun. Meet Cute Magic by Morgan Elizabeth. The next one I have to share is a cozy fantasy, and this is called Twig's Traveling Tomes by Griffin Murphy. It comes out September 8th, and as I said, cozy fantasy book about books. Looks adorable, so let's see what this one is about. A plot is brewing between the adventure and romance aisles. When visiting Twig's Traveling Tomes, customers will get the exact book they need, even if it isn't the one they want. As for the proprietor and renowned book witch Luella Twig, lives her life sequestered with her stories just as she likes it. When devilishly handsome rogue Everett Sharp stumbles in looking to remove some handcuffs, closely followed by Luella's former tutor, whose prized grimoire has been stolen, her literary sanctuary is fully upended. Only Luella's magic can locate the grimoire, and teaming up with Everett is her best chance at retrieving it. But how can she trust the man behind the wolfish grin? Can she trust the man behind the wolfish grin isn't interested in stealing the book for himself? With a host of friends, old and new, Luella sets off on an adventure she never thought she'd take and starts to realize that just like in her books, what matters most has always been what's under the surface. So, sounds cute and cozy and autumnal. The next one is a book by Victoria Aveyard, who, if you are not familiar with it, she is the author of, her most famous is probably her Red Queen series, which there's kind of a lot of controversy around not necessarily her series, but another series that has very heavily inspired by her series. So anyway, she is a great author, and this one is called Tempest, and it comes out September 8th still, and it is the first book in, I don't know how long the series is going to be, but it is a fantasy series, historical fantasy series that has to do with pirates and stuff. So this one looks good. So this says, may the sea always sing to you, Cat Rose knows what it is like to live in two worlds, in two times. Before, as Lady Katrine Rose of the Meridian Empire, chained to a loathsome lord with a dwindling fortune. And after, as the Widow Rose, queen of the pirate tavern in the Lyrian Sea, determined to be the master of her own fate. But tides turn and winds change. The Meridian Empire looms on the horizon, the full weight of her navy falling on the Lyrian, bent on reclaiming the wealthy colonies and crushing the pirate republic once and for all. Ship after ship is captured, save for one, captained by the pirate who continually evades both noose and blade, the legendary Valerian Kane. With his fearsome ship and uncanny connection to the Song of the Sea, Valerian is the only man who might rally the pirates who remain, the only man who threatens the empire, and the only man Cat has ever loved, blazing in and out of her life like a star. So, sounds good. Piratey adventure, which I know I'm getting that book as one of my book boxes, but I will save it. I'm going to save it for next summer, because pirates, to me, even if they take place in other seasons, they always feel like a summer read. That's just how it is in my head. I think pirates and I think summer, even if the season is not during the summer. So after that one, we have one called A Complement of Scoundrels. And this one comes out September 22nd. And it is by S.V. Lockwood. And this one is a sci-fi fantasy, so there might be some sci-fi elements in this. Okay, so it says, there are many ways to bring down the man who betrayed you, and Miria Cadessa has thought of them all. Cracking the Elysius vault should have made Miria the richest thief in all of Corinthium. Instead, it shattered her crew and left her rotting in jail, while her double-crossing master walked away with everything that should have been hers. But now she's out, and it's time to settle the score. Reunite her crew? A pleasure. Steal back everything her erstwhile leader took, and then some. She'll just need to trick the king of all tricksters with the law on her heels, and a troublesome new ally whose loyalties seemed as conflicted as his feelings for Miria. It's the most audacious heist she's ever attempted, but she failed her crew once. This time, she'll make it right at any cost. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm always a fan of heist stories. They're just a lot of fun, I think. So there's that one. Okay, next up, this is my most anticipated. If you've been here a while, you probably already know. I've talked about it in the series all the time, it seems like. This is The Mirror of Infinite Endings by Stephanie Garber. This is the novella following her Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and it comes out September 22nd, and I can't be more happier than I am about it. So can't really say much about this because it is a novella following the trilogy, and it would spoil things, obviously. But it is a story about a girl named Evangeline Fox, and she is brokenhearted because at the beginning of the first book, who she thinks is her true love is marrying her stepsister, and it came out of the blue, and so she feels like he's under a curse. And so she goes to what's called a fete to his church, the Prince of Hearts, to make a bargain to stop the wedding. And that's where it starts. So it's a magical, whimsical fairy tale type of story with a lot of yearning and tension, but no spice. They're wonderful. If you love that whimsical, if you love whimsy like I do, they're just the best. They're the best books. And technically they follow the Caraval series, but you don't absolutely have to read the Caraval trilogy to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I always suggest it, but you don't absolutely have to. You're not going to be confused if you have no interest in that series. But I'm so excited. Okay, moving on. I know, like I said, I talk about them all the time. The last one, is it the last one? Like I said, I've been trying to pick and choose which ones I'm going to share because there's so many in September that I want to get to for sure. The next one is a sequel. I think it's only going to be a duology, but it's the sequel to The Weaver Bride by Lydia Gregovic, and it's called The False Vow. And it comes out September 29th. And in this series, in the first book, it has to do with magic that's tied to what are called silk witches. The weavers are the men, and the silk witches are the women that have magic in their hair. The magic is tied to their hair. And so there's a mystery involved, like a murder mystery, and fake, like a competition to win the hand of one of the higher ups in the Weaver dynasty type of thing. And I did really enjoy it. So I am interested in continuing to see what happens in the second one. So that is The False Vow. And then last one that I'll share is The Lost Spectacular. This is by Zoe Duhame. I think I'm saying it right. I might not be. It comes out September 29th. And this one, it says it is a fantasy and a book about books. So another one where I'm like, yay. If it has to do with books, I'm usually going to gravitate towards it. So this says both magical fable and a tender love story. The night circus meets the midnight library. So that sounds like fun for sure. Let's see. Everything you love must leave you. Noon, Bonaventure, and Monroe Forest weren't always rivals chasing each other through the pages of books. They grew up listening to stories from Monroe's grandmother and arguing over their favorites. But then one night, they discovered the spectacular, a mysterious, ever-changing festival glittering with everything lone pearl earrings and apple orchards, abandoned first drafts and shipwrecks, a sky full of umbrellas. This spectacular, found only by invitation or in the pages of misprints, I just lost my spot, is the most precious thing in the world. In its wake, stories settle. Noon has always been the sort to move on with grace, and Monroe goes into the business of never letting go. Their divide, starker than ever after a misstep, abruptly closes the door on what could have been. Now long estranged, yet forever drawn to one another, Noon and Monroe's differences have defined their way of life. Monroe, an ambitious museum curator, vows his next exhibit will trap the spectacular and return its lost treasures, while Noon, queen of cat and mouse, has been chosen as the next captain of the show. As opening night for Monroe's exhibit draws closer, he and Noon will have to stop running and finally agree on how their story ends, and perhaps find a way to start again. That sounds right up my alley. Books, whimsy, sounds amazing. And look, this is another book. Look at how pretty it is. It's so pretty. definitely going to be high on my priority list for sure. So that is The Lost Spectacular. And that's it, you guys. So those are some of the books I'm interested in. I did skip over some because otherwise this video is going to be forever. But these are some of the ones that I was really gravitating towards for sure. So let me know down in the comments, do any of these sound good to you? If not, if I didn't mention it, what are some books you are looking forward to that are coming out in September that I didn't cover? I would love to know, because I always like to add to my never-ending TBR pile. It's just what it is. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I appreciate all of you guys and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, take care. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.